All of us painters have something we've got a special knack for. Ter Borch, for example, he's ever so good at white satin. Every picture he paints, somebody's wearing white satin. Family in mourning, get the widow in white satin. Soldiers boozing in a tavern, white satin shirt sleeves. Even that one he did of a farmyard, cows and hay and muck up to your armpits. But he made sure the milkmaid was wearing white satin. Turn up for a sitting with Ter Borch wearing anything but white satin, and he'll charge you double. Still, that's better than Weenix. His speciality is dead swans. No composition he likes better than a nice oak table, a few apples on a pewter platter, and a dirty great dead swan drooping over the edge. And the customers love it. There are more dead swans on the drawing room walls of Amsterdam than I've ever seen in flight. You might think, mightn't you, he'd have exhausted the supply, that there'd be no swans left, that he'd have to broaden his horizons and start painting dead geese or ducks or chickens. Luckily, he's painted the damn thing so many times, he can do it from memory. Good thing too. Have you any idea how much a dead swan costs? And there's a young chap in Delft, the name escapes me now. All he paints are women in rooms, just standing around, doing things with letters, reading a letter, writing a letter, waiting for a letter. It amazes me what people will spend their money on. But he's making a living, so he must be doing something right. As for me, well, I paint myself. Have done for years. See that mirror on the wall? It's paid for itself 100 times over. Yes, I've painted myself wearing a plumed hat, wearing a gold chain, wearing a plumed hat and a gold chain, dressed as the prodigal son, dressed as St. Paul the Apostle. I've painted myself in the light, in the dark, in the half-light, and accompanied by a poodle. It's what the customers want. And God knows, I need the money. I've done 3 this year already. I've a waiting list. What it is, I think, is that they know time's running out. Not that I'm planning to die. Why would I want to do such a thing? But the punters are probably looking at me thinking, he's getting a bit long in the tooth, and artists get old, can't handle a brush anymore, or the eyes go. So my customers are saying to themselves, better get a self-portrait of the old fool before he pops his clogs. I'm running low on umber. Where's that boy? He's meant to be cooking up the pigments, but he's never here when I need him. You get through a lot of brown, Mr. Van Ring, he says to me. He makes it sound like a complaint. And the questions. Is it true, he says, that there's no such colour as black? He asks me this as he's boiling up a pot of bone black, or charcoal black, or lamp black. But this is what they say, apparently, in the universities, that black is merely the absence of light. If that were true, then we must be living in a world of darkness. No, black is the colour we use to clothe the naked skin of the canvas. There's no call for nudes these days. It's for the best, I suppose, given our weather. Can't persuade the models to take their clothes off. And the money those women want. The last one I painted, God, it must be 10, 15 years ago, I had to spend a fortune on fuel. I'm cold, she kept saying. Put some more coal in the fire. The only ones who didn't complain were the poor dead wretches I painted being cut apart by my learned doctor friends in the anatomy schools. I was well paid for the work, and there was a dreadful kind of fascination in it, but still, I've seen dead bodies before, of course. Too many. Saskia, the children. But what those doctors did, I can't look at living people now. not without seeing what lies beneath. The funniest thing happened last week. I was invited to dine, a rare occurrence these days, with some merchant chap just moved here from Rotterdam. And what should he have hanging on his wall but a painting of me? I hardly knew myself. Young, bareheaded, eyes in shadow. I can't even remember painting it. It might as well have been a stranger. And yet it was made by these self-same hands in front of this self-same mirror. That's why I've never sold this mirror, even when everything else has had to go to auction. I can't paint myself from memory. I'm not like Weenix and his dead swans. I don't know myself by heart. But enough contemplation. That won't buy the baby a new bonnet. Did I mention I have a little granddaughter now? Poor thing. Here's that fool of a boy with some more umber. So on I go, and before you know it, the job will be done. Just one more little, that's it, and maybe the tiniest bit of, yes, a touch of lead white right there. And let's step back a few paces, take a proper look. It almost looks as if I've a tear in my eye. Should I change it? Maybe just tone it down a smidgen. There. Done. That's me. Finished.